Hi, everyone. First, I hope you and your families are safe and well and healthy during this really challenging time. I'm coming to you from my walk-in closet where I have set up my office since my regular office in our house is being used by one of my children who's being homeschooled for the past few weeks. I know this time has been really challenging for our family of trying to balance everything that's going on, and I'm sure the same for you. And I know many of you as leaders have spent the past couple of weeks trying to get your staff set up virtually so they can work from home while continuing to serve your members or your clients and customers. And so it's really challenging to make sure we're leading in a way that we keep our employees engaged and also take care of them. So I want to share with you a few tips on how you can lead even better during this unprecedented time. So leadership is an action, and it requires actions. There are things we have to do to make sure we're leading effectively. And now more than ever, that's important because our employees aren't probably interacting with us on a regular basis, at least in person. And so it can make it really challenging to keep people engaged. So my first tip is to acknowledge emotions. If you haven't done this already, something I recommend is setting up an individual call with each of your team members, preferably through video if possible, where you can connect with them and ask them how this pandemic has impacted them personally and their families and understand what they're really going through. Each of them has a unique experience. Some of them might have elderly parents that they're concerned about. Some are homeschooling their children while trying to work, much like I am. Some of them may have a spouse or a partner who has been laid off or who's self-employed. And so this is impacting many people in different ways. And many of us are still having similar emotions of fear, anxiety, and uncertainty. And so we want to acknowledge feelings because we can't just pass through that. We can't just continue on business as usual and expect people to bring their full effort if they don't feel like you understand what they're really going through. So again, I recommend connecting individually with each of your direct reports and just talk with them. How are they doing? Check in. And this will give you some great information on how to support them going forward. The next is to create clarity. So again, now more than ever in a virtual environment, we want to make sure we're putting structures in place that can help our employees continue to perform at their best. So this would be weekly meetings, team meetings, as well as individual meetings with your staff members. Now, this might be different for each staff member. Some you might have daily check-ins. I have a client where they do a morning check-in and they set the goals for the day, and then they do a late day check-in to see how progress is being made. That might be too much for your team. It might be weekly, but making sure you're putting structures in place so that you're having those connection points. Another thing I suggest doing is at the start of those meetings, starting with a small team building activity. This could be something like, tell me one word about your state of mind. That gives you some great information on how your employee's feeling in that moment and gives you a chance to take the temperature of your team. Other things I like to start off with is maybe a question. What's been your favorite vacation ever? Or new and good. So what is something new or good that's happened in the past 3 weeks? I know people aren't going many places, but there's probably still things they can share. For example, a few weeks ago when we first were home, that first week, my 3 kids, all 3 of them learned how to ride their bikes. And we're so thankful for that because now they can go out and they have one more activity they can do outside. So new and good. So start each meeting with a short team building activity so that you can make sure you're still having that personal connection. And finally, and one of the most important, is caretaking the culture. So this is a time to really make sure that you're connecting with your employees, that you're taking care of them, that you're supporting them. Ways you can do that, I know a lot of people have been doing virtual happy hours or virtual coffees are another great example. At the end of the week, set aside some time where you're just connecting socially and there's no task or agenda for that meeting. Send a handwritten note or maybe a small gift to your employee in the mail. If you go on Amazon and Google employee gift, you'll see a lot of examples, a box of chocolates or a mug or a book, a bookmark, a journal, small things to just let them know that you're there and that you're thinking of them. So make sure that you're not forgetting about the people side. That's the most important side of leadership, is taking care of our people. And through those actions, as you show up for your staff and help them through this time, we can get through this challenging time. And I'm confident as a leader, you can really help support your people. Take care, and I hope you stay safe and healthy and well.